Hello, my name is Nate. Welcome to my Fluid Art channel. Today I'm going to be doing another Nautilus pour. So some friends of mine and I are opening a gallery here in our local area, and I want a couple of Nautiluses for the gallery, so I'm going to do this. This is one of the techniques that I'll be teaching at the Fluid Art Experience in Richardson, Texas this November, and I'm very excited about it. I'm going to walk you through my colors real quick, and I'll show you the consistency. The Nautilus pour basically is my spin on a strainer pour. So we use this little strainer here. I like it because it has really tall slots in it, and they're kind of narrow. So it creates some really cool lines and motion. And we'll layer our 3 of the chambers in the split cup, pour into the center of the strainer, and as it comes out, it will hopefully create that Nautilus effect. So just to explain my colors here, so Amsterdam Titanium White will be in the middle chamber. One of the outside chambers will have this color, which is DecoArt Metallics Pewter. I'm hoping, this is usually a pretty reliable cell maker, so I'm hoping for some kind of silvery, bluish silver cells popping up underneath this white. And then the other outside chamber I'm going to do in kind of an ombre color. I want, the focal point will be in the center, so I want the most contrast. So I'm going to put in the one of the chambers, I'll put some of this Prussian blue. On top of that, I'll put the greenish blue, and then I'll put the primary cyan on top of that. So it'll be brighter on the outside and getting darker as it goes in towards the center. At least that's the plan. There's always surprises in fluid art. So we'll go ahead and layer our cup. We'll start with the white. This canvas is a 20 by 20 deep edge canvas, and multiplying length times width and dividing by 28, which is the number of ounces, will give us the number of ounces that we need, and that ends up being 15 ounces. Each of these chambers holds 5 ounces, so I think we'll have the perfect amount of paint. We will also be putting down a base coat before we pour our colors out, and that will help these really super thick paints to slide around and move on the canvas when I spin it. Which reminds me, let's show you the consistency. So this is the primary cyan from Amsterdam. I have mixed all of my paints 7 parts to 1 with mix pour, which is the thickest pouring medium you can find. I have not added any water. You can see that it folds beautifully. There are a lot of air bubbles. I only mixed this about 2 hours ago, so and that's not a problem in this technique, because those air bubbles, when they pop, they always bring up colors underneath it, so it ends up being cells, and I think it's a really cool effect with this technique. So again, the first color in the cup is the last color to come out, so we want to start with our darkest color. But it's also the part that spreads the most, so I'm not going to fill up the chamber with that color. And I'm just layering these colors directly on top of each other. There we go. And then the last color, the cyan. There we go. Move those out of the way, and then we'll put down our base coat. The base coat is also Amsterdam Titanium White, but I have mixed this 3 parts to 1 part paint, 3 parts Floetrol to 1 part paint. Its only purpose here is to help the other paints spread, so I didn't want to waste the mix pour on my base coat. It's a little difficult for me to get here in Costa Rica, and it's my favorite pouring medium, and I only have 3/4 of a bottle left, so when I go to Dallas in November, I'm going to fill up an entire suitcase full of mix pour and hope customs doesn't stop me. I'll be smuggling mix pour into Costa Rica. I guess I can add that to my resume. Artist and smuggler. Don't tell anyone. So we're just going to spread this out, give it a nice even coat, and I am going to put some on these deep edges also because I want the flow to go completely over. If you don't wet down the sides also, then sometimes it stops here and it creates a little divot where it leaves a blank space. So you want to cover all of the surfaces. Let that paint flow right over the edge. There we go. My base coat is thinner than the rest of than my poured colors. I didn't add any water to it. It was the right consistency, just Floetrol paint. But Floetrol is much thinner consistency than mix pour, so it will help these paints flow. There we go. Let's give that a little spin and spread it out and see if it'll cover some of my edges. All right, that paint's already starting to come off. That's great. All of my even that out a little bit. Doesn't have to be perfect, it just needs to be wet. There we go. Okay, and to find our center, we're going to use a piece of string stretched corner to corner. I like on this technique, I really like for the focal point to be in the exact center as close as I can get to it. So I'm just going to dip from corner to corner a piece of string. It leaves a little line for me that'll quickly disappear, so I need to move fast. Corner to corner. And where they intersect is the center of the canvas. Put our strainer right there in the middle. Perfect. Or as close to perfect as we can get. We're gonna get. All right. So now, here's the twist. So instead of pouring, just pouring a ring pour in the center or a straight pour or something like that, we're going to pour clockwise and slowly spin the canvas as we do it. It will create a spiral effect on the inside. And for that purpose, I have removed the little center spike. I just wiggled it back and forth until it popped off. It's rubber plastic, so it doesn't take much effort, but it leaves a little hole there in the center, so or it takes that spike out. So as I'm making my spiral in the center, that stick doesn't disrupt or warp those lines. Whatever happens in here is what happens out here. So I want my spiral to happen here, and that's what gives us that Nautilus effect. So here we go, ring pour in the center.
It didn't take more than a second for you to turn the whole world upside down, turn this big boat back around. Had you been watching and waiting, from some place up above, somehow knowing in this place, all these people, I'll find love. And I cannot wait to get to know you, to help you ease the troubles on your mind, to walk by your side, holding your hand in mine. I'll treasure that for as long as I'm alive. You're welcome here, welcome here. Our hearts you hold hostage, that much is clear. You are most welcome here. You already have a way with people, but your old man has yet to find. Please stay as gentle and kind. Oh, none of us can wait to get to know you better, to see who lives behind those blues. And on your first day, doing anything new, we will always be right there with you. You're welcome here, welcome here. Our hearts you hold hostage, that much is clear. You are most welcome here, welcome here. Our hearts been taken hostage by the sweetest little deer, and you are most welcome here.
Looks like we're going to go over that edge first, which is fine. There's enough paint here, it'll cover the entire canvas. But those little spins help the paint come out of the center. Once you've spun it out, you don't want it to go over the edges, but once you've spun it out, then you can remove this center thing, commit to the motion, go slowly, and pull it right off.
Come
So here are the wet results of my ombre blue Nautilus Pour. I think it's really cool. You can definitely see a spiral happening here. I love these pewter cells that are all over the outside edge, and there's a line of them coming through there also. The center is always fascinating. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Dipping your finger in the center there, I did it several times just to make sure that it came to a point. Dipping your fingers straightens out all of the lines. So that's a really good, useful tip. I definitely got the darker here, the mid-tone, and then the lighter blue out here. I'm super happy with how that worked. And that pewter, because of the mix pour, it made some gorgeous boulder cells out here. Look at that. This looks like maybe an ammonite instead of a nautilus, because this looks like it's been done in stone. Look at all these boulder cells. Wow, beautiful. Could not be happier with that. Love, love, love it. This is a great color combo. I'm hoping it doesn't dry too dark, but if it does, then a layer of resin will bring out this wet look again. But look at the transparency in that. Oof, so pretty. I just love these cells. No silicone at all, just using the density of the different paints layered together to create these. And popping your air bubbles early in the process means that it brings up more color underneath. If I had waited to pop the air bubbles until I'd spun everything else out, it would have potentially warped the lines a little bit. Each little bubble would leave a little streak as it tried to move, but it also would not have, I would not have as many cells. So that's a tip for you. If you don't want the cells, don't torch your air bubbles until the very end. But if you want bubbles, pop them right as soon as you see them. So yeah, there we go. Stay tuned for dry results. So here we have the dry results of the pewter and blue Nautilus pour. Super happy with how this turned out. It dried beautifully. I love the pewter in this. When it mixed with the white, it turned very silver and provided great contrast with those three blue colors. And I love how it goes from light to dark. I just love that effect. It's so beautiful. The center turned out great. These big, beautiful cells all the way around that kind of wrap in a curl all the way around and through here and continue right into the center. I love that. Everything dried beautifully and just as it looked before. So thank you very much for watching. Sorry about the construction noise happening behind here and the big trucks going past. But If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to see more. And come learn this technique from me in person at the Fluid Art Experience in Dallas, Texas next month. The link is in the description box below if you'd like to check it out. There are 9 amazing artists that you can learn from at this event. It's going to be so much fun getting to meet all of the people who watch my videos, and it's just awesome to hang out with other artists and talk art. So anyway, thank you very much for watching, and see you next time.